Good morning. Welcome everyone to the Goddess, Asteroid and Gene Keys update. So there's lots of exciting things happening at the moment. I'm going to be talking about the Sun and Hygeia, a healing goddess in the Codon Ring of Alchemy. We're going to be talking about Astraea crossing the Galactic Centre. We have Pallas Athena conjunct Neptune at the moment, so there's plenty to talk about. I'm going to try my best to be concise. So, welcome and thank you for listening. So I want to begin with Astraea crossing the Galactic Centre. Now, one of my huge astrological breakthroughs with the goddess asteroids came in January 2017, when I noticed that Astraea, who is called the goddess of the new golden age, Juno, goddess of the sacred marriage, the alchemical marriage of male and female, and Hygeia, who's another goddess of healing, basically, and her symbol is the caduceus. So she's also about this balancing of the male and the female. And what was kind of amazing is that they stayed together for well over a year, about 18 months. But at the time in January, I had this really powerful vision. And it was the vision that Parsifal had when he went to the Grail castle, where he saw the maidens, one holding the chalice, that was Hygeia. Astraea was holding the sword of light that drips blood into the chalice, and Juno was one who was kind of balancing the whole field of that energy. And in the story of the Holy Grail, Percival doesn't ask the right question then, which is, who does the Grail serve? And the answer is the Grail serves everybody. So the Holy Grail mysteries are a very Aquarian thing, actually. So because it begins with the journey of the full Parsifal in Aries, and it ends in this Aquarian or Piscean field as well. But, you know, the Grail serves everybody means that the spiritual path is open to everybody without the need for priests and religions, essentially, to be part of that process. They can be, but they don't have to be. That's the thing that's different to the past. Okay, so we have Astraea now crossing the Galactic Centre again. It's a really powerful point, around 26, 27 degrees of Sagittarius. So a new level of these, the new golden age is being seeded now. And my understanding has kind of shifted, really. You know, a lot has happened in those 3 years. Coming into the Gene Keys has been one of those huge things. And so this time round, what I'm really perceiving right now is the change from the cross of planning, which is very a yang energy, to the cross of the sleeping phoenix is the fundamental energy we're working in. So that's happening in 2027. So we're in a 6-year cycle here, and so, you know, there's going to be a lot of change in the world, and we can already see that happening through the pandemic, how everything in the structures in the world can change like really overnight and in a global way that I think is shocking to most of us that that could even happen. So, many people I'm speaking to, and myself, there's a feeling of wanting to come out of this whole lockdown very slowly. It's like time has slowed down, and it's stressful to rush things. So it feels like, in a way, our subtle awareness has increased, and we don't kind of, I'm talking about we, but I can only talk for sort of people I've been in conversation with. There's a desire not to kind of swing back into where we were before March 2020 and take up life in exactly the same way. There's an urge to do things at a different pace, a more yin kind of way of living and more connected to nature. And I will say, for me, one of the fundamental issues about what's happening is the healing between religions such as Christianity, Buddhism, and shamanism and indigenous wisdom, because these are huge kind of global collected wounds that they're keeping us separated from the fundamental raw power of the cycle of nature, which is where our rejuvenation comes from. Okay, so let me share my screen now. Right, here we go. Okay. So this is what I'd like to show you over here. Let me pick up my little spotlight. So this is very interesting because there's been this movement of Hygeia, the Sun, and Mars through the Codon Ring of Alchemy. So alchemy is all about the male and the female, the solar energy, the moon and the earth energy as the feminine. And of course, all this is encoded within our bodies, and it's also encoded within the I Ching hexagram. So when we're doing this Gene Keys work, we're actually already engaged in this alchemy of the male and the female. And you can see Hygeia, her symbol is the caduceus. She was the daughter of Asclepius, the sort of father of medicine. And one big area I've found for her is this area of circadian rhythms, which maybe up until 5 years ago, I'd never heard of circadian rhythms, but it's all about how our bodies are made of billions of clocks, basically, that are triggered by light, by age, by hormonal changes. So we will all be familiar with these. And of course, that applies also to the plant and the animal kingdoms, that whether we know it, like it, we are in this flow of nature. And so Hygeia calls us back to that fundamental understanding of our body as something that is part of the whole ecosystem, and especially its relationship with light and dark is really important to honor that. So here we have the sun there it's coming to the end of the transit of Gene Key 6, and happy autumn equinox, because today the sun crosses into Libra, and you can see here we also have Mars in Libra at the moment, and this is Gene Key 46. These solstice points are really important in the wheel, called the cross of the vessel of love. And so that really feels like, it's Mars there supporting Hygeia and the sun in this alchemy, and the alchemy is bringing us back into this full connection with nature and light, and a sense of belonging to the earth. And if you listen to the science around circadian rhythms, you know, that this is not something covered in medical school, so you won't necessarily hear this from your doctor, but you know, there is a lot of evidence that a lot of illness, mental health problems are coming from fundamentally not sleeping properly. You know, that's what it boils down to. So, very important area of life for our well-being. Now I'm going to pop opposite here in Pisces, which is, as we know, is opposite Virgo. And here we have Neptune and Pallas Athena. So Pallas Athena's in an exciting position. She's in Gene Key 51, line 2, and this is all about awakening and initiation. I love this gene key. And Pallas Athena, in my experience, relates to all these kind of amazing issues going on around gender transformation. So one of the things that happened in the last few days is that the first male gay couple will dance on Strictly Come Dancing. And that's been, you know, really beautiful to watch, and I think will kind of have a big effect on people who still feel really uncomfortable about that, you know, and we're in this shifting world, but it's shifting towards gender equality and also gender not being as important to us. You know, all these things that really strongly defined us as men and women in the past are dissolving, and Neptune is the great dissolver. So I feel that that is one of the manifestations of Pallas in this position, and she's actually been traveling with Neptune quite a while. So this 2021, there's been a lot going on. Oh, and actually another thing that pops to mind is the film All About Jamie has been released, and there's a lot of excitement about that. So that's another manifestation, I feel, of this. And here we have Jupiter. The time I did the chart, the moon was conjunct Jupiter, and Jupiter is in was transiting Gene Key 49, line 6. So this is all about revolution, the vision of the overturning of all the ideas. So again, I feel that really supports what's going on. And here on my chart in the first house, I'm here in Hebden Bridge in West Yorkshire. We see that the Astraea is, I've talked about her in a few previous of these when she was on her approach to the Galactic Centre. So very exciting. She's there now. Yes. And so, yeah, so this is a time that we can really increase our subtle awareness. So, you know, that's what this golden age is going to feel like for us humans. We're becoming more sensitized. Our perception is growing. We're noticing more beauty in nature. We're slowing down. We're pausing and we're pivoting. We're dancing with creation. And through that, we can reach this wonderful 46th state of delight. And yeah, that kind of enjoyment, like really rich enjoyment of life. Even though there's chaos and suffering around us, we can move into this gift city level, and through being in that level we can also help to bring others with us into that, and that is going to be the big game changer. So namaste, have a wonderful day, enjoy the autumn equinox and tune in to the change of the season. Bye.